Hello and welcome to my video. Today I got a new package in from Errons.net. If you remember, at least a month ago, I did a video on the brake pedal pad replacement, and this is a follow-up to that. It's a new design and also something else in here. So let's open it up and check it out. All right, I am going to cut this open. All right, here we go. This is the new design for the brake pad pedal. And if you notice, it looks very similar. It's the same design as the original pedal that came with the car. And this is an improved design. So I'm going to compare it to the original from the car and also the first version of this cover. So here is the original OEM cover from the car, and you can see that it is in kind of rough condition. It's starting to crack on the inside, and I bet in no time at all it would have started disintegrating on the metal brake pedal. So I removed this and put on the new one from Errons back in that previous video. So here's a comparison between the new and the old. Pretty good, I would say. It definitely gives the essence of the original. It is about the same thickness on the side. Width on top, overall width is pretty much the same. The bottom also has that angled shape like the original. And more importantly, the center. This part here allows it to fit into the metal groove on the brake pedal so that it doesn't push all the way into the pedal. It gives some clearance. And if you notice, this one has the same design. So yeah, I think this is going to work very nicely. So let me take the current Errons.net cover out of the car and I'll compare that to these two. Here you can see the original version with the Ocean lettering and kind of ridges around the outside. I'm going to remove this from the metal brake pedal, and the easiest way to do that is to pull on the edges around the outside, and then you should be able to push it off like that. So I'm going to bring it over to the workbench now. All right, here we have the first version of the cover. You can see the edge design here. So let's compare it to the new one. Side by side. Let's put them front to front. They're about the same thickness. Overall, I would say the shape is pretty much the same. If you look at the inside, you'll notice some changes on the new one. If you look at the border that goes around here that basically grabs onto the metal pedal, it's thicker. You can see it really good right here. I would say it's about twice as thick as the original. So that should give even better fit, I think, over the metal pedal. The center section here appears about the same, and the actual construction is about the same too. For this project, I'd recommend having some gloves since I had some issues with the sharp metal on the brake pedal. So watch out for that. So wear gloves to protect your hands. You can also use a plastic pry bar to help get the cover over the metal plate. And lastly, I found this stubby flathead screwdriver to help really well for the final corner when I had to get basically this part here. I had the first two went on fairly easily. The third one was quite difficult, and this one was super difficult. But using the screwdriver, basically I did this in the corner and then flipped it over the edge of the metal, and it worked great. So having a short one of these is good. I had a longer screwdriver, a regular length one, and it was too tight in that area, kept hitting the back of the accelerator pedal area, and it just didn't work. So if you have a short screwdriver like this, this will help you greatly. So that's basically it for this project. So I am going to install the new one in the car. So let's go do that right now. All right, here I'm inside the car. Here's the bare metal brake pedal, and here's the new cover. There's probably a couple different ways of getting this on. You could probably start at the top, or the bottom, or the left, or the right. So I am going to try to get this on maybe from the left side first. I'm going to go on this corner, lower corner. All right, so what I did is I did the top left corner and the lower left corner and kind of wedged it in there so that both of these corners are in. Now I just have to try to get the lip to go over the top. It is a bit tricky. All right, so I got this corner, the bottom corner, and half of the top is on. Now I need to get it pushed all the way over as far as I can to the right. Now I'm going to try to get the lower part to go over this corner. All right, it is a bit tricky, but if you take the plastic pry bar and get the inside of the lip right here and then push it this way and around the corner, you'll get it into place. It's a little tricky. The first two corners go in much easier. The third corner is a bit tough, and I'm guessing the last corner is going to be the toughest since there's not a lot of room here to work with. But you basically have to take the edge of the pry bar and then pull the lip back so it goes over this top right corner. So let me try that now. Almost got it. So for the last corner up here, I'm going to use a screwdriver since the plastic pry bars tend to be bending a little too much for this application. So I am going to take this short screwdriver and put it along the lip on the inside here. And then I put it right in this area right here. And now I'm going to slide it up so that it has the corner and a little bit more. And now I have the screwdriver right in this corner right here, and I'm going to pull it back, angle it, and then push it in place. And then that gets it over the corner. So in summary, I installed it from left to right. I started with the top left and bottom left corners. Get that firmly in position, push it all the way to the right as far as you can. And then push the lip all along the top and the bottom. And then you're going to need to use a screwdriver or a plastic pry bar to get this lip over the corner. Then you're going to slide a screwdriver right around here to the corner. And then what you're going to do is pull it back, angle it, and then that will flip this corner over the edge of the metal. And now everything is fully seated. Just make sure, go all around the edges here. And it is super tight. This is not going to come off. It was, I admit, a fairly difficult install, but I think I figured it out. And if you follow these instructions, I think it should work well for you. Let's have a view of the pedal itself. Installed. Here's the left side. Straight on. And then from the right side. Overall, I think it looks really good and matches the original that was in the car. And now for the second half of the video. This is the other items that came in the box, and this is a different design for the Aero Flaps that go in front of the rear tires. It's a really nice 3D print, and it's made of the same material as the pedal covers. So it's a TPU. And if you look at it, it is very thick and solid. And then this is the direction of airflow. So if you look at it, it is a nice arrow shape to it. And the designer thinks that by doing this shape, there should be less turbulence and less shaking of the actual flap, because the shaking of the flap led to the downfall of the original design. So let me show you what the original looks like. This is the original Aero Flap, and if you look at it, you can see this is where it fails along this area because of the shaking and the angle of this kind of a weak point right here. So it kind of fails here and also on this side. So the whole flap part here, it is a soft rubber on the bottom, and then up here it's hard plastic. So here's a good view of that. So let's compare it with the new design. This should be up like this, but during shipping it got a little bent, but once it's installed it doesn't make a difference. But you can see, comparing the shapes here, they both have the holes here for the 10mm bolts that go here, along with the 10mm bolt that goes here and here. And there's also a hole here for a trim clip. So those all match up to the same, locations. This design also has this little piece right here that will hook behind one of the metal sections of the underbody of the car, and this will provide additional support for this, since this will hold it in place so it won't move in this direction. So it's a design that he came up with after several tries, perfecting the shape of this. So this has been many months that he's been working on it, so I'm appreciative of him sending this to me to check out. It looks like a great design. So if you look at these closely, they have about the same height as far as the flap goes, and you can just see the difference in thickness here. So I'm hoping that this will be a superior design for the car. And even though the Aero Flaps don't add a whole lot to the efficiency, every bit helps on an EV. So I definitely recommend replacing these if they're broken on your car. So yeah, so I think this is really nice, really neat design. So I'm going to take this out to the car and install it. Here are the tools you're going to be needing for this project. A trim removal tool, a ratchet with a 10mm socket, and a plastic pry bar. And that's pretty much it you need for this project. Here we are on the left side of the vehicle. This is the rear tire, and this is the Aero Flap in front of it. This happens to be a replacement one that I installed a little while ago, so it's actually in good condition, but I'm going to remove it for demonstration to show you how to do that. There are two trim clips here. There is one right here, so I am going to take that one out. I have to pop it. And it may come out in two pieces. That's not a big deal. You can reattach it later on. We'll just put that aside. The second trim clip is right here underneath. So I am going to remove that one as well. So I popped out the top part and then I removed the bottom part. Next we have the 10mm bolt that is right here. So I am going to loosen that up with my wrench. And I can remove that now. Next, we have to flip out this fabric piece right here. You can just use the plastic pry bar or this pry bar and just wedge it. It will come loose and you can just fold it back against the tire right here. And inside there are two bolts, and I'm going to remove those with the same wrench. All right, so I can take that one out. There, and there's one more right next to it. And I have that one here too. All right, so this entire piece should be able to come out now since there's nothing holding it in. This one does have some 3M tape on here, so I'm gonna push that a little bit and it should come right out. Here is the new Aero Flap. And you can tell which one you need to use because it will have, for the left side, it will have this extension going towards the car. So what we need to do is we need to put this in, and what we're going to do is this little section here is going to go in, and it's going to wrap around a piece of metal that's inside there. So it's a little hard to see. So I am going to thread it in. So when you put that little tab in there, it will go right behind this opening and it will lock into place. So basically, when you push this in, as you can see right now, it's firmly in place. So when you have this in position, then you can take the 10mm bolt and thread it through the opening here. I'm going to push it in there and then find the hole behind it. Then take the wrench. Now I can take the second 10mm bolt and that will go right next to it. Find the hole that it goes into. All right, so when you get both of these snug, so that is in position, then you can do the last 10mm bolt and that goes right here. I'm going to hand thread that one and then take my wrench and go the rest of the way. All right. Now we have the two trim clips. We have one that goes down here. And we got to find that opening. All right. Push that all the way in. Then use the trim tool to press it all the way in place. Sometimes it takes a little bit of effort to get it in. There we go. So that trim clip is in. Now we can fold the fabric back into place underneath here. It will slide underneath this trim. And then we have our last trim clip goes right here. There we go. Make sure that goes through. And then that one, once it's in place, I'll use the trim tool and plug it in. All right, there we go. We have the two trim clips and the three 10mm bolts holding this in place, and it is very solid. It is not moving anywhere. And I like the design. It seems to flow nicely with the shape of the car. And I'll be checking this out over the next several months to see how it works. And then to do the right side of the car is the same thing. I'm not going to show you. It's the exact same procedure. So not that bad. Using the steps that I showed you, you can install this fairly quickly. So here we go. I'm going to move this around so you get a good view at the different angles. Yeah, so very nice. Well, that wraps up my video today. Thanks to Errons.net for sending me both of these items today. We have the version 2 of the brake pedal cover to replace a falling apart original version that came with the car. And it looks exactly like the original cover and matches the accelerator pedal now. So pretty cool. And also for the rear, we have an improved design for the Aero Flap that I just installed, and I'll be checking this out over time. I'll be comparing this to other ones that I've installed and see how it holds up. I hope it does. I think it has a nice look to it and it feels very solid, especially with that extra section that hooks under the metal, which should give it some more stability at high speed. And that's it. So thanks for watching. If you are interested in any of these items, I have the links in the video description. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them down below. And I will see you in the next video.